Hey, it's Keisha Lance Bottoms, and welcome to Keisha's Kitchen. I'm not feeling great today because I got caught in a torrential downpour. And then I was soaking wet and walked into a really cold gym. So this is a great day for my mama to show me how to make chicken soup. Whenever I'm not feeling well, I always call her and ask her, please make me some chicken soup. So I started the chicken. It was a whole chicken. I hope I did it right. You told me to cut up an onion, put the onion in the pot, put some celery in the pot with it. I put the chicken in there with some water and chicken broth. I don't know if I did that right. Some salt, some pepper, and some garlic powder.
Mm-hmm.
Is that all I was supposed to do?
Followed directions.
Imagine that.
Imagine that.
This chicken has been cooking for about an hour in this pot. So now, and it smells so good.
It looks good.
So what do I do now?
So just try and tear it apart. See if it will tear apart. It looks like it's done.
Well, let's see. Should it be falling apart easier?
Well, when you put the noodles and
It's
the...
still kind of tough, Mama.
Does it?
Did I put enough seasoning in there?
Let me taste a little bit on that spoon. I'm just gonna... I don't eat chicken, but I'm gonna taste the broth. No, it's not seasoned enough.
Okay, go wash your hands. So what did I not put enough of?
It's not enough salt. It's not enough pepper. You were very light-handed. Put more garlic.
More pepper.
Yeah, that's good.
That's enough?
Yeah, that's enough.
Garlic powder.
More garlic.
I was too light-handed.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And more.
And a little bit more salt.
What about my seasoned salt?
You can put a little bit. It's coming apart. By the time we... it's tearing up, Keisha. It's tearing up.
In there? I put one onion.
We can put a little bit more celery, and while we are putting the noodles and the soup mix in it.
Do I have enough onion in there?
I think so. It looks like you do.
This always makes me feel so much better.
Oh yeah, it's done. It's totally coming apart. You didn't puncture it enough.
And where'd you get this recipe from?
That's a good question. My mother. So now we're going to use, I am partial to, and I'm not advertising, but I am partial to the Bear Creek chicken noodle flavored soup mix. It has noodles in it, but I still add noodles. So that's a lot of seasoning in there.
So this says whisk in the soup mix. Do you do that?
No, I just stir it in. Just empty it. So maybe do half of the bag of that, those noodles. That's okay. Your children love noodles. Probably about maybe 20 to 30 minutes.
And I had to, you told me to cover it with the water.
Mm-hmm.
But we could have just done all chicken broth, right?
We could have, just for the flavoring. But if you season it good enough, you can bypass the chicken broth. You're just gonna cover it and let it cook until the noodles get ready.
On high?
It can stay on high. When you're watching your pot, you can leave it on high.
Okay.
I do. Only when you think that you may leave the room, would you turn it all the way down.
So we're making chicken noodle soup. And then what's fascinating to me, you eat swine, but you don't.
Occasionally.
Occasionally, Mama, you love some barbecue ribs.
Oh, I do.
And ham.
Yes.
but you don't eat chicken.
No, I don't.
And why don't you eat chicken?
Well, when I was growing up and my mother used to send me to the store to get the chickens, she would say, Don't get a chicken that weighs over 2.5 pounds. Well, the wings were weighing 2.5 pounds.
Why couldn't
They
you
just
get
got
a
too
chicken
big.
that weighed more than 2.5 pounds?
I don't know, but my mother always liked a small chicken.
So when
And I think
chickens got bigger, you stopped eating chicken.
I stopped. Well, I gave it up for Lent one year, and I never ate it again.
Do you miss chicken?
Uh-uh.
I
I
love
did
chicken.
in the beginning. It was hard for me to find things to compensate, but now I still eat turkey. So I was going to mention about the soup. I made the soup recently, and I made it with turkey wings, and it was just as good. I followed the same directions that I've given you, and the turkey was delicious.
So do you have any
The turkey
plans
soup,
of giving up pork?
not that I know of. If you wave a rib, I'm going to eat it.
Okay.
I can't help it. And I only eat ham like at Christmas. I don't go out of my way to eat pork. Like, I don't cook pork chops and do all of
You
that.
used to in your other life.
I did. And I ate oxtails recently. What is that, beef? I don't
Yeah.
eat much beef.
You don't. No. You never ate much.
I never ate.
So when I refer to her other life, it was when she was married to my daddy, and she cooked a lot. Pork chops, roast beef, cube steak.
But I didn't eat a
pepper
lot
steak,
of it.
all kinds of good things that I haven't seen you cook in decades.
I know. Well, that was all for your daddy because he loved my cooking. Okay?
Well, the children are still here. We still love your cooking.
Well, I just don't cook like that anymore.
So,
I mean, I cook when I need to, but I don't cook
do
like
you
that.
think you would remember how to cook all that stuff?
Oh, absolutely. It's like riding a bike. You don't forget how to cook it. I just don't cook it.
So you were telling me a story earlier today. You lived on Elm Street, what's now Vine City in Atlanta, on the west side of Atlanta. And you all had a barn in the backyard, and you had a goat
And a pig.
and a pig.
And chickens.
And the goat's name was...
Billy, of course.
And what did you do with Billy the goat?
We used to walk to the corner store and we would take Billy on a rope. Like you would walk your dogs on a leash. We walked Billy to the store with us. We would tie him up outside and wait. You know, he waited for us to come out. And he was our pet.
And what
Until my
happened?
mother sold him. She sold him for $5 to one of our neighbors. Our neighbor barbecued him, and we stopped speaking to her because she barbecued Billy.
Well, did you smell Billy cooking?
Yeah, we saw it.
You saw it?
And so we would get in trouble because, you know, back then, as I was just telling Reverend Thomas, is that...
Reverend Thomas not on this video. They don't know who Reverend Thomas.
But I was just saying that, you know, back then you had communities. Your neighborhoods there are communities, but I don't think they are like the ones that we grew up in. The real neighborhoods where the neighbor was just like a mother to you. I remember my mother told me, because I was an only girl and she was very guarded with me. And I couldn't wear lipstick. And at 15, everybody else was wearing lipstick, and I wanted to wear it. And I walked past one of my neighbor's houses, and she said, "Did Ramona see you?" My mother's name was Ramona. She said, "Does she know you have on lipstick?" And I went, "No, ma'am." She said, "Well, go back in that house and take that lipstick off." And I did, because you did what the neighbor told you.
So because we talk a lot about the neighbors on Elm Street. You told me this story about you would walk home from school if you had gotten in trouble at school. They say, "I heard what you did today." Grandmama sold Billy, the pet goat, for $5, and the
Yes.
neighbor barbecued him.
Yeah.
And then you all stopped speaking to the neighbor, you and your brother.
And we got in trouble. Because my mother, she went back and told my mother. Because then everybody sat out on the porch and you walked past them and you spoke, and so we wouldn't look over at her and speak to her, and we got in big trouble.
What did grandmama say?
She told us if she found out one more time that we didn't speak to her, that we would be in big trouble.
Did you start speaking?
Of course we did, because then, the big trouble was like you go outside and get a switch off of the tree, and your mother would whip you with a switch.
Was there a reason, like, were you guys not taking care of Billy? Why did we need to get rid of Billy?
Now I don't know why my mother. So I think it probably was. That was probably part of it, that we weren't taking care of him like he should have been taken care of.
Do you eat goat?
No.
Have you ever had goat?
Not that I know of. I remember when your daddy and I were in Africa, they were telling us on the buffet, and it's mainly goat.
Well, when I do remember being served pigeon wings, and I didn't eat them. I kept going, those are some really interesting looking wings.
And where was this?
This is in China. And I when I landed, the first thing I did was go to LT Wings. All I wanted was lemon pepper wings. They were real skimpy looking wings. So I just ate a lot of steamed rice, steamed fish, because I could identify what that was. I didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, when you go to these countries, you eating buffets most of the time. I don't know if it's different now, but that was back in the 70s. And you really did not know what you were eating.
Did people eat goat when you were growing up in Atlanta?
I don't know. Our neighbor did, because she barbecued Billy.
Like the whole
And
goat.
back then, people made their own barbecue pits with like the rocks, the big rocks. And somehow they would stack them up and put a grill, the wide thing. I don't even know if it was a grill, but somehow they made their own, and they do it out in their front yard.
So Billy was being roasted in the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
Did you cry?
Yes, we cried.
Oh, that's so sad.
That was so sad.
Did you get to say goodbye to Billy?
I don't know. I can't remember all of the details. You know how you don't remember the real finite details of things, but you remember what happened. It was very hard.
Poor Billy. R.I.P. Billy.
It's good, doesn't it? The chicken is done.
This looks so good, Mama. I'm sorry that you don't eat chicken. I don't know which one to choose from. That one has more color to it. That one has more chicken. That one has more broth. And since I'm not feeling 100% today, I'm going to go with the one.
Well, I am going to watch you all eat this.
If I did it right with the seasoning.
You did?
It's not yours, but it's good.
All right, then.
I'm going to rate this. I'm going to give it a 9 just because it's not your touch all the way. But
now you know how to do it. Is it good?
I feel better already.
Oh.
Thank you, Mama.
You're welcome.